you have not stood up, please rise for the class of 2018.
Let us pray. Almighty God, who has given us this good land for our heritage, we humbly beseech Thee that we may always prove ourselves a people mindful of Thy favor and glad to do Thy will. Bless our land with honorable industry, sound learning, and pure manners. Save us from violence, discord, and confusion, from pride and arrogancy, and from every evil way. Defend our liberties, and fashion into one united people the multitudes brought hither out of many kindreds and tongues. Endue with the spirit of wisdom those to whom in Thy name we entrust the authority of government, that there may be justice and peace at home, and that, through obedience to Thy law, we may show forth Thy praise among the nations of the earth. In the time of prosperity, fill our hearts with thankfulness, and in the day of trouble, suffer not our trust in Thee to fail, all of which we ask through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen. Thank you. Please be seated.
Good morning. Well, the rain held up, but now it's steamy, so here we go. With great pleasure and honor, we welcome each person gathered today at the 148th commencement exercise of the Webb School for the class of 2018. The faculty and trustees join me in expressing appreciation of the presence of parents, grandparents, sisters, brothers, and friends of this talented senior class. A few housekeeping announcements. It's hot. There's water, I believe, in the back or on the sides, both sides of the tent. If you need water, please get it. There are fans, use them as much as you need to. That's great. I wish I could do it too, but not yet. There are restrooms in the gym. If you just go right up those stairs, enter the gym on the right side, they're right there at that level, or go through the door at the bottom and then inside. We are streaming live right now, so behave yourselves. It's through our website, and you can also see it later on if it's not convenient right now for someone to be posted online early this afternoon. If you have not already, please turn off your cell phones. And after the ceremony, lunch will be served in the Grace Ballin Dining Hall, and I hope that you will join us. First, I'd like to focus on the Webb graduates, the parents of the Webb graduates who are present today. I include the faculty members in this statement. Will all parents of Webb graduates, past and present, please stand. Past and present. Stay standing. Okay, now we're going to play a little game. Stay standing. We're going to play a little game here. You're going to have to do some math, so this is challenging for the parents. We'll see. You include all your children. So in other words, if you had 3 children in 1 year, that counts as 3 years. You got it? 3 times 1 is 1. Okay, we're good? Okay, so if you've been a student at Webb, past and present for 2 years or more, remain standing. We only lost a couple. Okay. How about 3 years or more? Okay. 4 years or more? Some people are trying to figure it out. They're working on it. Okay. 3.5. 5 years or more? Oh, we lost a lot. Okay. 6 years or more? Mike Quinn's trying to figure it out. He's not sure. 7 years or more? Oh, we're still going. 8 years or more? 9 years or more? 10 years or more? 11 years or more? 12 years or more? You still got 13 years or more? 14 years or more? Thank you for all the tuition. Thank you. 15 years or more? 15? Still got a winner? 16 years or more? Congrats. Well, I think we made it to... Still have any standing? 1? 17 or more? All right, congratulations. Still go. Wow. Oh, it's still one standing? Oh, what is it? Four kids, how many years? Do math. You're a math teacher. You're a math teacher. Oh, 19, 20. It's like an auction. We have 21. Do I hear 21? Thank you all so much. Thank you. That was terrific. Wow. That got me sweaty so much. Okay. Joining me on stage are Vance Berry, class of 72, and Vice Chairman of the Board of Trustees, and A. John Frere, our guest speaker, and former head of Webb School from 1989 to 2005. In addition, I would like to introduce another board member, Farrah Schaefer Vaughn from the class of 95. Where are you, Farrah? Right back there. Thank you for being here. All right. So, as I said before, this is the largest graduating class we've ever had, 67, and also the largest tent we've ever had, so it's exciting. It has been a journey for them to get here to this point, a journey filled with ups and downs. As a group, they've had many successes. For example, the college counselors report that they did an excellent job meeting deadlines, and all of them have been admitted to college. That's good. We are very proud of you, the class of 2018, for all of your accomplishments. You've worked very hard to reach your academic goals. You have been leaders on the playing fields, the court, and the courtroom, not as defendants, but as mock trial. So that's good. And on the stage. Your academic accomplishments include 2 National Merit Scholars, Jones Allison and Kelty Schroyer, many winners of National Academic Awards, and very strong performances on the National Advanced Placement exams. Your class is filled with talented musicians, actors, artists, and singers. You organize several coffee houses, Spring Fest, Webstock, and some spirited dances. I don't know why you do it in that little building, but I guess you like it. That's good. In athletics, many athletes have been named all-district and all-region teams while working with teammates to produce competitive sports teams, including a basketball team that made it to the state semifinals. You'll hear more about some, thank you. You'll hear more about some individual athletes, artists, and actors later in the program. This is also the class that resurrected the senior prank. They were able to poke fun at the faculty and staff in a constructive manner. Your good-natured efforts ensured a prank for the class of 2019. Congratulations and thank you. I just want to recognize 2 students who really gave a lot of spirit to this class, and that is Ethan Kokenauer and Will Ledbetter. They were leaders in creating spirited sports events with tailgates at many games. I've got more to say, including senior night when baseball played softball. I can still hear the drums from football and soccer games. They also built spirited basketball games as the quasi-ESPN announcers, complete with jackets and ties and microphones. That didn't work. Last, their pancake breakfast with added music and line dancing was a pleasant ending to the senior prank night. Thank you, Ethan and Will, for all you've done to bring spirit and fun to Webb this year. Please stand to be recognized. There are many others in this class who are also known for their creativity, energy, and passion. I hope that all of you will be like Little Brown Jug and pedigree your ancestors as you make a difference in the world. The faculty and I congratulate the members of the class of 2018 for all of their accomplishments and for having achieved this important milestone in their lives. Will Mr. Joe Iorio, Assistant Head of School, please come forward to introduce our guest speaker.
Good morning. It is my true pleasure to welcome John Frere and his wonderful wife Penny to Webb today. It is also an honor to read this impressive introduction. Mr. A. John Frere served as Webb's head of school from 1989 to 2005. He is the longest serving head of Webb School that does not have the name Webb. Mr. Frere earned his undergraduate degree from Franklin and Marshall College and a master's degree from Middlebury College, both in Spanish. He complemented his academic pursuits with intense interest in sports and music. He played both lacrosse and football at Franklin and Marshall. His first faculty position was at Blair Academy in New Jersey, where he served as Spanish teacher, coach, residential faculty member, and later director of athletics. Blair Academy, if some of you may know, has an impressive sports tradition, putting out many professional athletes, including many Olympic wrestlers. Wrestling is one of their top sports. He then moved to St. Stephen's Episcopal School in Austin, Texas, where he served as Dean of Students, Assistant Head of School, and Interim Head of School. He arrived at Webb in 1989 and served as Head of School until 2005. During his tenure at Webb, the endowment grew substantially, an effective capital campaign was completed, and annual fund participation increased markedly. He also increased programming by adding French and Spanish to the middle school curriculum, the ethics course for the 10th grade, and several sports. And I just put a couple anecdotes in there. When he came, he was a big lacrosse guy, and he introduced lacrosse to Webb. I was a new guy, and he said, well, you're going to help Casey Kessering, who's from Maryland, big lacrosse country. Mr. Frere played in college. And he said, you'll help us. And I said, fine. I figured I knew nothing about lacrosse, but I'd just follow and lead. Well, many times he and Casey was the assistant head at the time, were in meetings, and I'd be out there not knowing anything about lacrosse with a team of eager and talented kids. So I figured I'm going to go to the library, get a book on lacrosse. I got 2 drills, and I figured, well, this won't happen that often. Well, it happened more and more. And I'm out there, and one of them was, I remember, was picking up ground balls, and they did it forever because that's all I knew. Well, now many of those young men are grown, and they see me and they say, Mr. Iorio, one thing we learned on lacrosse, we sure can pick up ground balls, they say. So that was great. But he did introduce lacrosse. Lacrosse had a wonderful success at Webb School for many, many years. He also influenced our athletic program by introducing a sportsmanship program while he was here. And I believe that still has an influence on our behavior of our athletes and our fans both at Webb School. He just loved sports, but he loved good sportsmanship more. He also worked to double the enrollment of Webb School in that span of 13 years, chiefly by expanding the day market. Also during his tenure, several outstanding capital improvements were made on campus. The Student Center, we call the old Student Center, which is now the Alumni Center, Lodla Field behind us, the wonderful Barton Gym next to us, and of course the Bond Library, which is really one of the best facilities in the Middle Tennessee, I believe. He has left his mark on Webb in so many ways. Today I'm going to stop and do a few anecdotes. I see the narrative tells you just so much about him, certainly it's impressive, but if we don't talk about a few stories about John, I think we lose some of that. John and Penny both. He helped, one of the things I always got to thank him for, he brought me to Webb School. I came here not knowing what I was getting into, whether I should even come, but he gave me the assurance. He said, Joe, this is going to be a good place for you. I had 3 children under 5 when I moved here. A 4th was born in Bedford County. The other kids give him grief for being a Tennessean, but I think he's now got the upper hand on him, I believe. He also, Penny, when I was here as a young faculty member on campus, she would take my children to school. They were in a little Catholic school in Tullahoma, and she worked at Motlow College. She was the head librarian there. And she was so kind, and so kind, take the kids to school every day. And she really got their hearts when she'd stop at Donut Palace every morning on the way over there. And even today, even several weeks ago, believe it or not, we were at Easter dinner, and they brought up the story of the memories of going with Miss Frere to school and the many stops at Donut Palace. Just kind lady, Miss Frere. Wonderful dinners at their homes. They have a group of people that you wouldn't expect there. They knew people at MTSU that would be there. Of course, Mrs. Frere working at Motlow would have Motlow people there, people from town, faculty and staff from Webb. The food was exquisite, truthfully. They love food, they love to cook, and the company was great. And it was just good people, getting good people together and having a good time. And it was so important in a boarding school community. He had a passion for music, as I mentioned. And at the time, John was frugal, and I think I was cheap. And so we had no way to play music in the chapel. We really had not much. And so he had this little thing, and some of you remember those little CD players, and he put it on the front of chapel and played music. But there was always a message there. He knew music, he loved music. He always had a message for the kids when he played the music. It wasn't just to be playing the music. And I think we stepped up. About the time he was leaving, we bought him a nice portable Bose thing, and that was about as far as he could get. He certainly never got the big sound equipment he was hoping to get. He was generous, unbelievably generous, John, and he never did it publicly, but you'd often see him. I'd see him sometimes just out of the corner of my eye or across campus or downtown. They'd come looking for money, and he'd always supported anybody who asked him for money with his own pocket. I see him take money out of his own pocket and give it to students that were struggling here at Webb School. Many, many occasions. Generous, generous man. You can't say enough about it, but never publicly. He always quietly took care of people, took care of organizations that asked him for money, and was always there for people like that. The point being, Penny and John, just good people, certainly what we think of as Webb lady, Webb gentleman. Since his retirement from Webb, Mr. Frere has been an independent school consultant. He was able to put his interest in travel with his work at that point, so it worked out very well for him. He worked particularly with strategic planning and athletic planning. I talked about his passion for sportsmanship and sports. He has also taught graduate school courses in education in American-style schools overseas. I know he has sat on many nonprofit boards, volunteers at times, and many times he's volunteering in organizations that are helping the most needy. He and his wife have been married for more than 50 years, and they've traveled together to all over different parts of the world. And I often go back to this quote, and I think he won't mind me using this, that Winston Churchill, who certainly had a few accomplishments, said, "My most brilliant achievement was my ability to be able to persuade my wife to marry me." And I think that's true with John and Penny. They're just so great together. Like I said earlier, John and Penny are special people and good people. Good Webb people, just what we want at Webb School, what we expect at Webb School. We're honored to have John and Penny Frere back at Webb, and we're looking forward to hearing what John has to say today. Thank you.
I'm not sure who Joe was talking about. Me? Thank you, Joe. Very kind words, and I appreciate them. And of course, I want to thank Ray Broadhead for inviting me back. As Joe mentioned, I retired from Webb 13 years ago, and it's wonderful to come back here and see how beautiful the campus is, this gigantic senior class. It's tremendous. It's really wonderful. As you can imagine, and I'm sort of going to direct some of this to these young men and women to my left, as you can imagine, having spent most of my life living in a boarding school, I have seen a lot of commencement exercises. And early on, it was very common when I'd be sitting with the faculty and we'd look over at the seniors and you'd sort of see, take a look at the watch and see how long this guy's going to talk because they're ready to get out of here. Now I guess you take your iPhone out, put it on the timing app, and you can probably just find out exactly how long I spoke. So, to be very honest with you, I had 3 graduations that 1961, 65, and 66. And to be frank, I have no earthly idea who spoke at those exercises. And I certainly have no clue of what they told us. Now, I'm in my 70s, so you have to, say that's okay. But I hope, at least when you're in your 60s, you'll still remember something of what I said. Hit 70, forget it, it's adios, but keep a little bit. I'll be honest and say this, that I firmly believe that the secret to making a good speech is to have a very good beginning, a very good ending, and keep those two as close together as possible. So I'm going to do my best to do that. I want to remind the class, first of all, how fortunate you are to have been at Webb School and gotten your secondary or middle school secondary education here. This is a great place. with a wonderful academic program. And I know you know that these folks made it possible. These are your faculty. They taught you. I'm sure they advised you, and I'm sure they served as mentors to you. Faculty like that is truly the backbone of a school like Webb. So why don't you give them a hand? I'll get into a couple little responsibilities I'd like to lay on you, but I do want to say this. I'm quite confident that you will never forget the honor code. Noli res sub doli, do nothing on the sly. That is going to be ingrained in your mind for the rest of your lives. Your understanding of ethics and the importance of personal integrity most likely will be the best lesson you take from this place. Because hopefully it'll go with you for life. Now, allow me to mention two things to you, two charges or suggestions that you keep with you. And the first thing I'd like to do is read a quote from Teddy Roosevelt, President Theodore Roosevelt. Now, I do want to preface this by saying that Teddy says man, 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 but we mean man, woman, person. Teddy wasn't into feminism back in the night. When was it? LR, what year would that have been? 1905, thank you. I should have looked that up, but I didn't. But here's the quote. It's not the critic that counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs and comes short again and again, because there is no effort without error and shortcomings, but who actually strives to do the deed, who knows the great devotion, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at best knows in the end the high achievement of triumph, and who at worst, if he fails while daring greatly, knows his place shall never be with those timid and cold souls who neither know victory or defeat. Now, I say that to you because I hope as you leave here, you will be a doer of deeds. I hope you will spread your wings. I hope you'll take risks. I hope you'll try new things. I hope you dive in head first to whatever interests you at the time. It's so important that you do that and do it full blast, 110%. Don't hold back. And you'll have fun doing it, I'm sure. I'm quite confident that here at Webb you've been encouraged to do that kind of thing. I'm sure the faculty has celebrated your victories and helped you overcome some things that didn't quite turn out the way you wanted them to. As you do this, you may want to think of something that I call the 3 F's. Fail, fast, forward. So if something's going along and it's failing, then do it fast. Learn from it, build on it, and move forward. Don't be afraid to take risks. The second thing I'm going to say to you is something that I learned in a book by an author named Calvin Trillin, who is a superb writer. He's written over 40 years for the New Yorker magazine and Nation magazine, probably published 10 or 15 books. Very, very clever, very witty writer. So Trillin, I'm reading this book called Messages from My Father. And it's really neat, and I'm enjoying it. And So you go along and you realize that Trillin's father was a Russian Jew who migrated to the U.S. and I'm not sure why, but his boat didn't stop at Ellis Island. It went to Galveston, Texas. And from there, Trillin's father made his way to Kansas City. And that's where his father and his wife raised their children. So I'm reading along, and Trillin says, you know, my father, he was a man of very few words, and we didn't have a bunch of heart-to-heart conversations like, son, do this and do that. Trillin said that wasn't his father's way. Later on, Trillin decided his father really had some kind of code that he used to communicate with him. So one day, sort of out of the blue, he's talking with his father, and his father says, you might as well be a mensch. So I look at that, and I haven't a clue what a mensch is. And in reality, it's a word of Yiddish and German background. So Trillin goes on, and he, in the next paragraph, he sort of explains what a mensch is. He says, a mensch is a person who always does the right thing. So if a mensch borrows your car, you're going to get it back clean with a tank full of gas. If a mensch stays in your apartment's going to be clean, the sheets will be in the washer. A mensch who is walking along, if they see somebody who needs help, they go out of their way to make sure that person is taken care of. So that's how Trillin explained it, and I thought, well, okay, I kind of get that, but I was a little more curious, so I looked it up, and I found what I think is a pretty interesting definition. Mensch, someone to admire and emulate, someone of noble character. The key to being a real mensch is nothing less than character, rectitude, dignity, a sense of what is right, and responsibility. The term is used as a high compliment, implying the rarity and value of that individual's quality. Now, I read that and I thought, that sounds like something Sawney might say. And Sawney, talking Yiddish? I can't quite get that. But you have lived in menschdom here for a while, because that's the kind of thing that has been expected of him. Sawney's probably turning over in his grave down that way, but anyway. But it's really important. I can't stress to you that the meaning of being a mensch. And in this complicated world that we live in today, we really need a lot of mensches. We really do. It's your generation. Take us being mensches. So that's the two thoughts. Get involved, like Sawney used to say, take a hand in the game. Get in the arena, take risks. Don't be afraid of failure. I hope you have a great summer. I trust you'll enjoy your first year of college and be a mensch. Thank you.
On behalf of the school, I'd like to present this gift to you. Thank you for being here. Thank you very much. Thank you, John. That was great. The faculty at Webb has had an extraordinary dedication to the students, as John mentioned before, and I thank you for thanking them earlier. But to the class of 2018, I have this to say. If you have not thanked them already, I do hope that you will not let today go by without personally thanking those teachers and administrators who made a difference in your life during your time at Webb. I'd like to recognize some departing faculty and staff. We have many faculty and staff who will be honored at our recognition dinner in August for achieving 5-year milestones in service at Webb. I'd like to also recognize them today so that we can all thank them for their service. So please stand when I call your name. For 5 years of service, Jonathan Chicken and Ann Crick, who's not here. John, will you stand up, please? For 10 years of service, David Glavin, who's up at the kitchen, Adam Morgan, who's running around keeping all this going, and Susan Mullen. We've got a lot of them this year. We'll keep going. For 15 years, Ann Chandler. She was here earlier. She's putting all this together. For 20 years, Kay Young, and Kay couldn't make it today. This is a family thing going on, but 20 years for Kay Young. For 25 years of service, the God of the Cloud, Raymond Pryor. For 30 years, Ralph Jones. 35 years, Madame Maura Judith Smith. And for 40 years, her partner in crime, Mr. L.R. Smith. It's quite a list this year. I would also want to mention 8 faculty members and administrators who will be joining our 67 graduates and moving on to new adventures. The first 2 have been at Webb for 1 year. Longa Wang and Amy Jia have been with us this year through the Confucius Institute to teach Chinese. Both have been excellent teachers, very helpful to our students in the dorms, and very helpful to me when we need an interpreter speaking to our Chinese families. Will these ladies please stand so that we may thank you for your contributions to Webb. Bruce Hunter has also been at Webb for 1 year as head of college counseling. He has done much to improve this department, creating new connections, pushing students to challenge themselves each year in their academic schedule, and writing and speaking knowledgeably on a variety of college-related topics. Mr. Hunter is moving to Florida in July to be closer to his family. Thank you, Mr. Hunter, for all you've done for Webb, and we certainly miss you next year. Dr. Jeff Boehner joined the Webb faculty 3 years ago. He has taught chemistry, 7th grade science, and biology. In addition, he was an assistant coach for baseball. He has been a strong influence on many students at Webb and has shared his passion for scientific research with them. We thank you, Dr. Boehner, for all you have done for our students, and we wish you well in the years ahead. Mrs. Ana Maria Rivas has been a Spanish teacher at Webb for 4 years. She has been a champion of Spanish culture, and her passion for this culture has been expressed through her celebration of holidays from her Mexican heritage. We wish her well in the future, and I'm confident that her sunny disposition and positive outlook will carry her forward in the next journey. Mr. Adam Feldbrugge came to Webb in the fall of 2012. He has worn many hats. He has taught physics, chemistry, served as head of the science department. In athletics, he has coached varsity football, including a championship season and a co-championship season, varsity girls basketball, baseball, middle school boys soccer. Did I miss any? I got them all? Okay, good. He has also served as a substitute chapel guy for this past year. Sadly, now that Mr. L.R. Smith can finally pronounce his last name, Mr. Feldbrugge is departing. Service above self is very important to Mr. Feldbrugge, and he is moving on to work through a nonprofit foundation in Shelbyville. Thank you, Mr. Feldbrugge. Now they get longer. Sue Wood has been at Webb more than 28 years. She has told me stories about how the art room was once in the basement of the big room. Hard to imagine, isn't it? About 10 years ago, she moved to her palatial spot in the Lundin Fine Arts Center. She has given much to art, specifically pottery and sculpture, and to the surrounding community through her artwork. From the Cornelia Hodges Fund, a grant that the school received to bring sculpture to Webb, Ms. Wood engineered the establishment of 3 new sculptures on campus. Through adult ceramic classes, her work on the Empty Bowls project, and her years of participation in the Webb School Crafts Fair, Ms. Wood has brought the Webb School to the surrounding community. Thank you, Sue, for your many years of service to students and faculty at Webb School. Her partner in crime is Mr. Larry Nichols. He arrived at Webb in 1986. In that time, he has worn too many hats to keep track of. Here's an interesting list of duties that he has performed. History teacher, democracy teacher, head of residential life of the summer school, international student coordinator, director of admissions, weekend duty captain, assistant soccer coach, and bowling coach. He has done it all with his warm personality and care for his students. Outside of Webb, Mr. Nichols has been closely involved with Republican politics at many levels. In his early days, he was an administrative assistant to the House Republican leader of the state of Tennessee. His democracy classes loved their visit to the State House, where Mr. Nichols knows everyone. Mr. Nichols was one of the 3 amigos who have taught history at Webb for a total of 102 years. While Mr. L.R. Smith and Mr. Ralph Jones will remain at Webb, Mr. Nichols is the first to retire. His political interests will occupy more of his time as he moves into retirement after 32 years at Webb. Mr. Nichols. We're not quite done yet with you two. Will Mr. Nichols and Ms. Wood please come forward to receive a special gift to honor them and thank them for their many years of meritorious service to the students and faculty of the Webb School. Make sure you get the right one.
Oh, okay. It's Larry. He's always first.
By the way, there's a little faculty lounge. It's about 12 square feet, maybe. No, it's a little more than that. They spent a lot of time there, so it's now called the Wooden Nichols. Hey, you're retired now, go. You gotta come back.
Thank you.
All right, you're very welcome. The David Newton Mcquoddy Award is given by the family of David Newton Mcquoddy to honor a teacher who has integrity, is loyal to Webb and its ideals, is dedicated to the profession, and who encourages sound character development and academic excellence. A native of Bedford County, David Newton Mcquoddy graduated from Webb in 1921 and completed his studies at Vanderbilt and the University of Chicago. He served as a teacher and librarian at Webb for 12 years, following which he became the headmaster and academic dean of the Tennessee Military Institute in Sweetwater. The winner of the Mcquoddy Award is selected by vote of the student body. This year's recipient has been a solid teacher, faculty advisor to the Honor Council, reliable bus driver, and key contributor to our WILD program. As a science teacher, he works very hard to teach not only science, but lifetime organizational skills. His lab is a place for creation and experimentation. This past month, students built structures from wood and Gorilla Glue to see how much weight it could hold. He is the epitome of honor and has been the advisor to the Honor Council for the past 2 years. He has respect of all of the students and cares deeply about cultivating honor at Webb. He always helps out with senior survival and even drives the bus many hours during that week. In addition, he will lead day trips for caving, kayaking, or hiking throughout the year. A graduate of Webb of the class of 1999, he brings a deep knowledge and love of the school whenever he speaks. He strives each day to make Webb a better place. On behalf of the students of the Webb School, I'm pleased to present the David Newton Mcquoddy Award to H.A. Swafford. We will now present individual awards to the members of the class of 2018. Book awards are given to the student in each course who earns the highest average. Senior recipients were honored at an earlier reception. You will notice a list of recipients in your programs. The first award is new to Webb. It's the Head of Schools Award, funded by the J. Murray Hill Class of 75 Endowment. This award is intended to be given by the head of school to fund an appropriate annual expense. For this school year, it was designated to cover the cost of planting a grove of trees near Logla Field, right behind you, to honor the memory of Ken Adderholt, who served as business manager at Webb from 1963 to 1980. We are very grateful for Mr. Hunt Hill's generous gift. I will now call on Andrew Mcquoddy, Dean of Students, to recognize seniors for their excellence in community service.
The Community Service Award is given for the seniors who have an average of 50 community service hours each year that they are attending at Webb. And it reads, in recognition of outstanding excellence, superior performance, and accomplishment. I would like to invite the students to come forward. Jones Allison. Sydney Dupree. Dayton Hasty. Charlotte Headley. Clarice Kaiser. Grace Lynch. Siri McGrady. Hannah Melson. Jada Milliken. Lucy Mitchell. James Russell. Lexi Sullins. And Lucas Weissman.
Bruce Hunter will recognize our National Merit Scholars and College Scholarship Awards.
Like Mr. McCready, I have 10 or more students to recognize, 3 of whom will call to the podium to receive a certificate, and the others will announce the named scholarship that they received from the college or university that they are attending. The 3 students who I am recognizing at this moment are Hayden Weeks for the Presidential Scholarship at the University of Alabama. The other 2 students who we are recognizing for a volunteer scholarship at the University of Tennessee, Knoxville are Lucy Mitchell and Sonia Patel. On the National Merit Scholarship front, we're recognizing 2 students whose names we have already heard, and we already know that they advanced to the National Merit finalist and now to the National Merit Scholarship winner category. They are Kelty Schroyer, heading to the University of Idaho, and Jones Allison to the University of Southern California. I'm also recognizing several other students who received named scholarships from the college or university that they are attending. A World Bachelor in Business Scholarship at the University of Southern California for Prince Lee. A Leadership Scholarship and a Jack Kent Cook Scholarship at Occidental College for Lucas Wiseman. A Tiger Achievement Scholarship at the University of Memphis for Hannah Melson. A Scott's Academic Award at Maryville College for Mia Harris. And a Fallen Soldiers Scholarship and a Fry Scholarship at the University of Tennessee, Knoxville for Emma Grace Patterson. As a final note, we have begun to gather information in the College Counseling Office this year, and I'm pleased to report that Webb seniors in the class of 2018 were offered a total of $3,092,000 in academic scholarships. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hunter. Personal integrity, the Honor Code, and the Honor Council have been the cornerstones of the Webb tradition since its founding 148 years ago. At this time, A.J. Swafford, faculty advisor to the Honor Council, will come forward to recognize senior members of the Webb School Honor Council.
Webb was founded, built, and continues to be sustained by the Honor Code. Nole res abdole facere, do nothing on the sly. Mr. Frere already mentioned this being the backbone of the school, and we do hope that every person who leaves the school takes that with them throughout the rest of their life. Students on the Honor Code, on the Honor Council, are elected by peers. It is not something that they campaign for. It is done anonymously, and so these were elected by their student counterparts to represent them should the need arise. For the seniors, as the leaders of the Honor Council, they have 4 members. They presided over 22 cases this year. and I'll have to say they did a very good job using their best wisdom and discernment. So we'd like to give appreciation to these 4 members. When I call your name, would you please come to the stage? First, serving 6 years on the Honor Council, this year as Sergeant at Arms, is Mr. James Russell. This year, serving as Secretary, Mr. Ethan Heading. Our Vice President this year was Mr. Luke Nefrata. And our president this year, who presides over all the council meetings, who pretty much runs everything, did a great job, is Mr. Jones Allison.
Joe Griggs, Director of the Outer Limits Program, will recognize seniors who have been involved in wilderness instruction and the Leadership Development Program.
Yes, the WILD program was instituted a couple years ago under the direction of Brian Wofford, and a lot of these 2 gentlemen have served 3 years, the maximum they could, starting their sophomore year, and they actually started under Brian Wofford. In a day and age where it's nice to be home and comfortable and with your phone, these 2 gentlemen decided to put all that aside. And yes, they've accumulated over 30 trips between them, but also they took control of organizing, planning, reserving, grocery buying, pretty much all the leadership responsibilities, and I was just there to make sure no one got hurt. These 2 gentlemen gave up free periods, they gave up afternoons to learn the bow drill, to learn identifying trees. So it's just a lost art that these 2 gentlemen have decided to keep going, keep strong, and that is Kelty Schroyer and Max Greenberg.
We will now present special awards selected by the faculty. John Bloom will recognize the Male and Female Outstanding Boarder of the Year Awards.
The Male and Female Outstanding Boarder of the Year Awards are given to those students who best exemplifies the qualities which contribute to boarding school life. This year's Male Award goes to a 2-year prefect from Lino Lakes, Minnesota, Kelty Schroyer. This year's Female Award goes to a 2-year prefect from Greensboro, North Carolina, Miranda Gant.
Ruth Cordell, Director of the Theater Program, will present the Joseph Peter Mearsman Award.
Right. This is my last time with Ralph Jones. He's leaving me in the lurch for a better life. The Joseph Peters Mearsman Jr. Award goes to that theater student who has given or shared with us something profound in the theater. And I don't think there's any doubt in any of our minds that there are two students this year that deserve that award. One very dedicated young lady, 4 years, and one very dedicated young man. How many years, Ralph?
Since the 8th grade.
Since the 8th grade. Every chapel, every special performance, anything that requires a control room. Oops, gosh, we gotta have a new light board. Oh, no problem, we got it programmed. It's ready for tonight. Thanks. Oh gosh, we need more sound. We need a new soundboard. Not a problem, we got it. Can you run the video at the same time, please, Dayton? And Siri, Dayton Hasty, Siri McCrady, please come and collect your award.
Rivas will present the John Freeman Academic Achievement Award and the Marjorie Eiley Manley Award.
The John Freeman Academic Achievement Award. This award is presented by the family of John Freeman to that persevering student who faced initial academic difficulties at Webb, but who began to flourish academically and to realize his or her potential. The recipient is Wilson Benham. The Marjorie Eiley Manley Award goes to the student that best combines an appreciation of music and foreign language. Johnny O.
Athletic Director Scott Dorsey will present Senior Achievement Scholar Athlete Awards.
The Senior Achievement Scholar Athlete Award is given to two seniors, one male and one female, who excelled both academically and athletically. This award is voted on by each varsity coach, and the requirements are that they play 2 varsity sports and play at least 4 years at Webb. An overall GPA of at least 2.5 in the end of their first semester of their senior year. The young lady that we're presenting this to, I think if you looked up in the dictionary and you look for the term student athlete, you would see her picture there, Miss Lucy Mitchell. And our male athlete, who was just a joy to be around all the years that I've been here, he worked so hard and was great on and off the court in anything he did, Mr. Joseph Collins.
Anna Maria Rivas Rayner and Moira Smith will present the Paul Hunt Award.
I'm not, madame. But she is allowing me to represent her. The Paul Hunt Award is given to that student who, in the judgment of the faculty, has exhibited particular courage, determination, and cheerfulness during the year. We have 2 recipients this year. They are Miss Jada Milliken and a fellow North Carolinian, Miss Miranda Gant. Thank you.
Neil Barrett's senior English teacher will present the Webb Fallon Award.
This award is in memory of Gerald Webb Fallon and is given to the senior with the highest cumulative English grade average. A student must be at Webb a minimum of at least 3 years to be eligible, and this year's recipient is Lucas Weissman.
Chair of the Math Department, Leanne Wyndham, will present the Henry Herald Memorial Mathematics Award.
The Henry Herald Mathematics Memorial Award honors the memory of a graduate and friend of Webb School. The award was established by Mrs. Henry Herald in memory of her husband. The award is given to the graduating senior who has demonstrated excellence in all of the mathematics courses he or she has undertaken at Webb School. By unanimous vote of the math faculty, this award goes to a young man who not only excels in mathematics, he has a love and a joy for the subject and has a passion for learning all that is unknown yet. This goes to Johnny O.
I'll now call on Adam Feldrugi, Chair of the Science Department, to present the Shevlin Brooks Bigger Science Award.
The Shevlin Brooks Bigger Science Award is given by family, friends, and classmates to honor and perpetuate the memory of Shev Bigger, class of '79. The award is presented to recognize outstanding achievement in the study of science. And this year's recipient pushes teachers to their extent by asking probing questions continuously, sometimes even challenging the teachers, and that is Kelty Schroyer.
Don't move. Director of Studies James Garcia will present the John Hardin Highest Scholarship Award and the Anna Landis Hightower Award.
I didn't want to worry you out. The John Hardin Highest Scholarship Award, Webb makes an award of $100 to the graduate who achieves the highest scholastic average in his or her senior year. This year's winner, Kelty Shorter. The Anna Landis Hightower Award. This award is presented annually to that member of the graduating class who has maintained the highest academic average in his or her 4 years at the Webb School. This year's winner, Lucas Wiseman.
will present the John Lewis Morgan Award. The John Lewis Morgan Award was established to perpetuate the years of meritorious service to the Webb School. This award is made annually to the student who has maintained a high standard of excellence in his or her academic work and demonstrated the highest qualities of good citizenship in the service of the school. The award celebrates the life of John Morgan, who served in the Webb School faculty for 43 years and also served as head of school from 1959 until 1963. This award recipient is selected by vote of the faculty and represents the highest award presented to a member of the graduating class. This year, there are 2 recipients of the John Lewis Morgan Award. The first recipient has been a boarding student at Webb since the 9th grade. When I first met him, all that I could think of was Ralphie from the movie Christmas Story. In 4 years, he has grown into a wonderful contributor to the community, a leader for social justice, and a young man who cares deeply about each member of our community and the community beyond. Member of the Prefect Council, dorm prefect, organizer of the concession stands, originator of Nice Notes, leader in both the Diversity Club and the Social Justice Club, he epitomizes the tireless worker at Webb. Faculty comments include, he lives to serve others, he has a kind heart, and he champions the underdog every time. He is also a most accurate scholar with a constant love of learning. His deep and lasting non-academic contributions stem from an unequaled emotional empathy. Not only does he see hard work engaged in by the unsung heroes around campus, he is not content with just commiserating with them. He takes action and makes their lives easier. He exemplifies what it means to truly embody being a Webb gentleman and scholar. And another faculty member said he cares deeply about Webb and every student that is here. He wants everyone to be happy. He does a lot behind the scenes for students in the dorm, and he was also instrumental in help pulling off dorm wars this year. It is difficult to imagine Webb next year without him. He will be taking his talents to Occidental College in California next year. We may need to warn them that a fireball is on the way. Whatever his life journey takes him, he will be known. On behalf of the faculty, it is my pleasure to bestow the John Lewis Morgan Award to Lucas Cole Wiseman. The second recipient has also been a boarding student at Webb since the 9th grade. He has been an academic leader in the class. Last year, he scored a perfect 36 on the ACT, and he asked the college counselor if he needed to take it again. Puzzling question from a brilliant student, isn't it? He has been named a National Merit Finalist and was one of 600 students in the country to be named United States Presidential Scholar semifinalist. He challenges his teachers with questions that are outside the box, as his mind is always asking, what if? He will be a very special lifelong learner. Outside of class, he is heavily involved with many aspects of campus life. A leader of the WILD program, a member of the Prefect Council, dorm prefect, helping to organize coffee houses, Springfest, Webstock, working the crew for theater production, and participating in mock trial. One faculty member commented, most importantly, he is helpful and friendly to every member of the Webb community, without regard for the differences that our culture seems to highlight to divide us. The manner in which he has embraced the full breadth of Webb's experience is truly inspirational. At one of our recent Visitors' Day, when a faculty member could not attend to talk about WILD, this student stepped in and did an outstanding job in explaining the program to the parents of prospective students. In many ways, he is more of an adult than an adolescent. A very honorable young man, he has lived up to the standards of the school that values honor and character. Next year, he will be attending the University of Idaho, whose nickname is the Vandals. It is my sincere hope that the Vandals will not influence him too much. He has a bright future, and I look forward to following his accomplishments in the years ahead. Again, on behalf of the faculty, it is my pleasure to bestow the John Lewis Morgan Award to Kelty Raymond Schroyer. Old Guard and Ancient Guard. As is the custom at graduation, we'll take a moment to recognize two very important groups at Webb. First, the Old Guard, which is composed of students who have attended Webb for 4 or 5 years. Will these students please stand when I call their names? Chloe Blansett, and remain standing. Joseph Collins, Ashton Crick, Wesley Cunningham, Miranda Gant, Max Greenberg, Charlotte Headley, Rhett Insel, Hannah Jenkins, Anna Jones, Margaret Jones, Sophia Kovacevic, Maya Krajek, Will Ledbetter, Alexis McKnight, Hannah Melson, Jada Milliken, Luke Nefrada, Johnny O, Emma Peterson, Griffin Rohn, Kelty Schroyer, Lexi Sullen, Thomas Webb, Alexander Weitzman, Lucas Wiseman, Morgan Williams, Alex Wilson, Jake Wright, and Henry Zhao. That's quite a few. Members of the Ancient Guard are students who began their careers at Webb in the 6th or 7th grade. I ask that these students stand as their names are called. Jones Allison, Elizabeth Bigham, Emily Bryan, Ethan Kokenauer, Sidney Dupree, Omo Echo Nsamalume, Dayton Hasty, Colin Jones, Greg Kilpatrick, Clarice Kaiser, Lucy Mitchell, Erin Parsons, Sonia Patel, Emma Grace Patterson, Ian Reyes, James Russell, Hayden Weeks, and Isaac Williams. Okay, so there's one more speaker between you and your Bibles. Today's student speaker. She's attended Webb as a day student since the 9th grade. She's a hardworking student, a champion for women's rights, involved in many activities at Webb, and she will be attending Rhodes College next year. She has a hidden humorous side, and she may reveal some of it in this speech. It is my pleasure to introduce our student speaker for the class of 2018, Lexi Sullins.
It's hard trying to figure out who you are at 18. It's even harder figuring out who you want to become. Hello, my name is Lexi Sullins, and these are my 66 classmates. For the past 4 years, my classmates and I have been on a rushed path of who we want to be and who we want to become. We've tried new clubs, new classes, that may have been too hard, and new friends. We've been so caught up in our selfish futures that we fail to look back at what we have unequivocally done at our time at Webb. So for the next 4 minutes, I ask that you breathe with me. Let's be mindful of the bad grades and nervous orations and forgotten vocabulary workshop words. Let's remember a time where we grew into ourselves. Seniors, breathe. Freshman year, we started with Flowers of Algernon in the last World History 1 class Mr. L.R. Smith would ever teach. We sat in Miss Truitt's Honors Geometry Extra Help and made Mr. Rice social media platforms that he was completely unaware of. Do you remember, seniors? Because right now, it feels something like yesterday. We moved on to sophomore year and listened to Mr. Hurt sing the birthday song to the same person 5 days in a row. We also wondered if the test he gave us was over the right chapter or not. Mr. Buck Smith was new, as was his tradition of our quotes on his walls. We preached what we believed on chapel stage and never mastered mastering chemistry. Then came junior year, which was dreaded by many. The author studies and Mr. Jones' A-Push extra help once a week, but it was okay. His OCPs always make it better. I think that was the year that we started figuring out who we are, who we're going to be. We were 16, and we were trying to plan the rest of our lives. It was a scary, stressful time. But just breathe, seniors. We're almost there. And finally, we encountered the senior slide. I kind of thought it was a myth, the senior slide, but then all 67 of us found out very quickly it's very real. First semester was okay. We were bright-eyed and applying to colleges. Do you remember your first acceptance letter? Or maybe all 23 acceptance letters? Second semester was more monotone than the first. We started to know where we're going to school, who we are, who we're going to become. We wrote the research papers and watched Mr. Barrett's one-man plays with his metaphorical club, which affirm my beliefs that teachers probably shouldn't be armed, but that's up for debate. Finally, we traveled into the Appalachian Trail and reminisced, but we were still thinking about what happens next. Well, we are what happens next. We've grown into the biggest class Webb has ever seen. It is our time. However, don't be afraid to fail. When I began, I said it's hard figuring out who you are when you're 18. It's even harder figuring out who you're going to become. So seniors, it's okay to go slow at first. It'll make you faster. It's okay to breathe slowly when you're overwhelmed with your future, much like we have today. You might change your mind, your heart, and even yourself. There's nothing wrong with that. We've worked so hard for our lives now. So here's to our lives, to our futures, our tribulations, and our happiness. Here's to the biggest class Webb has ever seen. Here's to us seniors. So breathe. Just breathe. Thank you.
That was terrific, Alexi. Thank you very much. So the moment we've been waiting for. Mr. Vance Berry, class of 72, and Vice Chairman of the Webb Board of Trustees will present graduation Bibles to the class of 2018. Qingyang Zhao, summa cum laude. Nihat Yildirim. Senza Zhao, cum laude. Jacob R. Wright. Alex Wilson. Morgan Williams. James Isaac Williams IV. Lucas C. Wiseman, summa cum laude. Abigail Weatherby. Alexander Matthew Weitzman. Hayden Lewis Weeks, magna cum laude. Thomas Hunt Webb, cum laude. Harold Vaughn. Jessica Turner. Lexis Elizabeth Sullins. Kelty Raymond Schroyer, summa cum laude. James Russell. Griffin Christopher Roan. Ian Diego Reyes, magna cum laude. Emma Peterson. Emma Grace Patterson. Sonia Patel, magna cum laude. Erin Michelle Parsons, cum laude. Junyan O, summa cum laude. Luke L. Nefrata, magna cum laude. Lucy Jane Mitchell, summa cum laude. Jada Milliken, magna cum laude. Hannah Elizabeth Melson. Siri Faye McCready, magna cum laude. Alexis Grace Elise McKnight. Grace Lynch, magna cum laude. Yu Yan Liu. Prince Lee, summa cum laude. Yoon So Lee, cum laude. Sung Min Lee, cum laude. Will Ledbetter. Maya Asrid Krajek, magna cum laude. Sophia Kovacevic, magna cum laude. Clarice Mirabella Kaiser, magna cum laude. Gregory William Kilpatrick, cum laude. Margaret Rebecca Jones. Colin Baker Jones. Anna Elizabeth Jones, cum laude. Hannah Grace Jenkins. Clinton Insel. Wesley Hennis. Charlotte Adrian Headley. Ethan Warwick Heading. Dayton Edwin Hasty. Mia Caitlin Harris. Max Andrew Greenberg, cum laude. Miranda Jade Gant, cum laude. Wilson Scott Fennell. Bennett Bradford Eng. Madeline Ellis. Homonigo Echo Insebalumi. Sydney Jane Dupree. Wesley Cunningham, magna cum laude. Ashton Crick. Caroline Nicole Cooper. Joseph Brandon Collins, cum laude. Ethan Kokenauer. Youngwoon Cho, cum laude. Emily Ruthann Bryant. Cleopatra Blansett. Elizabeth Vassar Bigham, magna cum laude. And last, the President of the Honor Council, Jones Constantine Allison, summa cum laude. You all stand, please, ladies and gentlemen, the Webb School class of 2018. At this time, the class of 2018 would like to invite all alumni present to come forward and join them in the singing of Integer Vitae. All alumni, come forward, please, right over here. We good? tonight. You can go back to your seats. They know that because we have an integral wheat tie Friday, every Friday in chapel, so they know it. They're getting pretty good at it. But that's your last time till you come back next year to see the class of 2019. So class of 2018, this is it. You will leave this wonderful place to forge new adventures. After your intense bonding of senior survival, you will soon go your separate ways. There are some members of your class you may never see again, and there are some who will be the best friends that you will ever have. We hope that you will return often to Webb and let us know how you're doing. Always remember, you are a Webb lady or Webb gentleman. That title comes with the great responsibility of living your life with honor, character, and service to others. These lessons are lifelong and do not stop today. Lead a purposeful life and be a servant leader. Will everyone please stand while we bow our heads for prayer using the traditional Irish blessing. May the road rise up to meet you. May the wind always be at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face and the rain fall soft upon your fields. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of his hand. Amen.